Have you ever played a game and wished you could change how an attack or an ability worked? If you've ever thought that might be fun, then let me tell you about a game that you might find interesting. Mages of Mystralia was developed by Borealys Games, a small Canadian studio founded by former Ubisoft employees. This was their first major project that was released in 2017, and while it may not have made a huge splash at launch, over time it's earned a reputation for its creativity. On the surface, it looks like a colorful, maybe Zelda-inspired adventure, but its uniqueness lies in the core mechanic. You can alter the attributes and behavior of your spells. You play as Zia, a young girl whose magical power awakens in a kingdom where sorcery has been strictly outlawed. When her abilities first manifest, she accidentally sets fire to her home, which results in her being exiled from her village. Alone in the forest, she meets a man who we know only as Mentor, who aims to help her learn to control her newfound powers. From there, her journey leads to uncovering the truth behind the land's history and why spellcraft was banned in the first place. This follows the classic hero's journey, which is a rather simple plot to follow, but for me, discovering how the story unfolded was still satisfying. At its core, Mages of Mystralia is an action-adventure game. You explore villages, forests, tombs, and dungeons, all while solving puzzles, collecting upgrades, and battling monsters. The structure is familiar for a game, but the details are what sets it apart from other games. As you progress, you unlock more magical abilities, but instead of just learning fixed abilities, you can collect runes that let you modify how your spells behave. You start with the basics, a fireball, a shield, a movement spell. Once you start arranging runes in your spell grid, things get interesting. Maybe you'll shoot 3 fireballs that curve in a circle and explode on impact and freeze enemies, or summon an ice storm that deals electrical damage. The combinations can get pretty wild, and half the fun is experimenting to see what kind of effects you can create. This is where the game truly shined for me, as it made me feel like I was inventing new spells instead of just spamming pre-programmed abilities. It also made me think due to some puzzles that can only be solved with the right spell combination, though in some cases there may be multiple solutions, and certain hint givers will tell you if you're missing a crucial ability. Either way, the puzzle solving and exploration feel all the more rewarding when you finally figure out how to reach a place you couldn't before. The combat starts out pretty straightforward, and most enemies early on can be handled with basic spells, but as the game progresses, things get more complicated. Some enemies are only weak to certain elements, which forces you to adapt, but thankfully you can set multiple spells to hotkeys and swap between them fairly easily, though sometimes in the heat of battle that can still be a challenge. The boss fights are where the game really tests you. Many bosses can only be damaged at specific times, and finding the best spell setup often turns into a sort of puzzle itself. I found these fights very enjoyable, with the difficulty ramping up as the game progressed. Visually, Mages of Mystralia has a colorful, cartoonish art style. While not technically impressive, it fits the overall lighthearted tone of the game and works well with the story. The music, though, is one of the highlights. The soundtrack, composed by Shota Nakama, who's best known for the video game orchestra, elevates the whole experience and gives the game a sense of grandeur. While it may not have topped anyone's wishlist back in 2017, I would absolutely call Mages of Mystralia a hidden gem. I only played it myself earlier this year, and I'd never heard of it before, but to me it stood out as one of the most enjoyable games that I have ever played. I think the spellcrafting system should make you consider checking the game out for yourself, but it was overall a thrilling experience. So if you're tired of every fantasy RPG giving you the same basic abilities, this game invites you to explore and use your own spell combinations, all while making you truly feel like a mage discovering your own magic. If you liked this video and watched all the way to the end, why not go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you can find more gaming content and review content. Until next time, bye bye!